So they gave multi-billion-dollar contracts to Boeing and to SpaceX, owned by Elon Musk. And you'd expect Boeing to be all over this. But of course, as you said, Liz, they've had so many problems with their aircraft. I mean, spacecraft are so much more complicated. Some of their initial efforts at this Starliner spacecraft, this is Boeing, software bugs meant some of the first rockets they shot went in the wrong direction. Then they had flammable tape inside the cabin of the spaceship, which is probably not good. 2 liftoffs were aborted. And finally, when they got a couple of astronauts on this spacecraft going to the International Space Station, it had thruster problems and gas leaks that they're still trying to work out what it is. And like you said, Liz, I don't blame the astronauts for saying, we'd like to understand a little bit more of the root cause before we get back in this thing and try and make it to Earth. So now Elon Musk, who's getting smashed by governments all around the world, but the American the Biden administration can make a choice, can't they? Your astronauts can come back with Musk, or there's a Russian rocket that they could hitch a ride with.
So which one would you trust more? The Russians, who've been trying to beat us in the space race since forever, might just magically combust on the way home, or Boeing, which may well do exactly the same thing. And they're surmising that, maybe it was like some of the valves were too small. OK. But before you got on a rocket ship to go up to the International Space Station, you'd like to think they'd done their due diligence to make sure that every little bit of that vessel was exactly as it should be. But no, it's Boeing. They have doors fly off mid-air. And what was the other story we talked about recently? They were using metal apparently that had been, come out of China that hadn't been properly accredited.
And whistleblowers that keep showing up dead. And so weird.
And you're like, I'm going to go to space on a Boeing rocket. I would have gone in totally the other direction. Now, the one silver lining could potentially be that if you got stuck on the International Space Station and you didn't particularly like your spouse, it may actually be a really nice holiday for a little while. They may well be saying, I don't want to go home. I'm quite enjoying it up here on the International Space Station. And if they're getting up to that sort of fun, like the International Space Station Olympics, I want to know how they do the diving and all the stuff up there.
I found that clip offensive, to be honest, because I felt like they weren't appreciating the gravity of the situation.
No.
Oh, get out. I can't keep up with the dad jokes. I cannot keep up with the dad jokes.
I'll be here again next week.
But it's a brilliant opportunity for Elon to be the hero here.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's now launching a rocket on the 24th of September, but it's only going to have 2 people on board instead of the usual 4. So they can go up there, retrieve the 2 lost lambs that Boeing has left hanging, and return triumphant in February of next year. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm like, what a middle finger to Boeing.
Exactly.
And Elon, who has been so demonised, gets to be like, you're welcome.
Save the day.